Let's get ready to rumble! Barkley, 24, the champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
Suns, Booker for the win. Yes! Booker, this is for the win.
Welcome, everybody, to the Valley Podcast. You are with the Valley Bros at Saltiest AZ Fan, Gabe at Suns Valley Pod, of course, me at Coach Evan B. In a game where the narrative was moments away from having somebody named something Cornette, Tomas Satorans. It doesn't matter what your name was because the Phoenix Suns came out in the fourth quarter, pulled it out, almost got completely exposed by these dudes who we don't even know who their names are. But out of nowhere, DeAndre Ayton has the quarter of his life. We have a replica of the New Orleans game. And to me, guys, the narrative was definitely Zach LaVine coming up a little on the short end. I mean, we say 24 points on the short end, but 24 points. And I think a lot of it was due to the defense we played on him, and we were able to affect his shots. But I want to go to you first, Salty. What did you think? How you doing?
I'm not sick anymore, so that's cool.
You do sound better.
Got a little bit of drainage going on, but game. I mean, first quarter, Booker comes out like his ass is on fire. His ass hairs literally are on fire because he's just draining shots. I mean, this dude is Kobe Bryant. I mean, he has a tendency to just come out light shit up, and then it just goes cold for some reason,
Right.
you know? So I don't know what that is specifically. Obviously, you can't maintain that the whole game usually, unless you want to go off for like 60 a game or 40, 45 plus or whatever. But I noticed that because the offense was flowing through him, right? I mean, every pass was going to him, which I like because he's the best player on our team, arguably. So the offense is flowing through him. He's getting the baskets. I think we went up by like 10 plus at one point in the first, so we were rolling like usual, and then we run into a brick wall. Just cannot hit threes. The offense just looks terrible. It looks out of sync. The rotations were changed again because Dario was injured, I guess,
Right.
or whatever's going on with him. So then all of a sudden you got people in there that haven't been playing. I'm seeing the Egyptian Walmart version of Oubre in there again. I'm like, what is going on? You start seeing these people. Crowder played like dog shit again, but I love him. I still love him. I think he had like 3 points or something. We couldn't hit the broad side of the barn, and I tweeted this out. It's like the Suns. It's like a little kid that gets their hand burned on the stove. You would think
Absolutely.
if you get your hand burned on the stove, you wouldn't do it again. But this is like the kid that is hard-headed and he keeps doing it, keeps getting burnt 3 or 4 times or 5 or 6 because you just don't learn. So I think we were like 2 for 12, 2 for 14, some ridiculous stat, and we kept jacking up threes. And that's the annoying part about this team is it's like if it's not working, do something
Why are we
else
doing it?
and don't wait an entire half to make an adjustment, because that's basically what happened. And another reason why we were looking like dog shit is because our defensive rotations were piss poor as well. So that's another thing that's lackluster in the first half. And our bench just looked horrible. Campaign, I think, had a minus 21 for the game. He played bad. Like, the bench did not play well together. I don't know if it's just because, you know, some of the players aren't used to playing. But yeah, the first half was just, it was pissing me off. Let's just put it that way. It got my blood pressure going. So
Absolutely. Just watching it the little bit that I did in the first half, the energy wasn't there, and I still think the Phoenix Suns are trying to learn how to play with a target on their back, because they're not the worst team in the league. Everybody's just going to go in and rest their dudes. No, they're game planning against them now. That's something Book hasn't had to deal with. That's something Ayton for sure hasn't had to deal with. So they're getting there. But the second half starts, and Gabe, I want to pass it to you. How you doing? What are your thoughts? Tell us what you saw in the second half as well, too, to bring back this game and mount the comeback we did.
Man, do you want me to push this, Frank, or do you want me to wait for that?
Everybody's got to see this gorgeous thing that I got here. Go for it.
Okay.
Share it.
So, what do you have?
This is Frank Kaminsky post game with that icy chain.
Look at the drip.
Oh,
look at the drip.
The dude has to have the iciest chain ever because he's the fucking ugliest dude on the planet Earth, dude.
Stop hating. Stop hating. That was just a picture. There wasn't a quote or anything.
No. That's just what he's wearing post game, and everybody deserves to see that. Right?
Yeah, that's what Evan's gonna yank off to later.
Thank you for sharing that. So, listen, I just felt like this is one of those games where the Suns just don't take the Bulls seriously. And they just knew they were like some little gnats. And they're like, oh, God, these gnats flying around here. And it's fourth quarter. All right, squash. And it felt great, man. Great win. CP3 controlling the fourth quarter like we're going to see in the playoffs. It's going to be what wins us at least one really good playoff series is Chris Paul making every single possession count. And that's what I feel like he did for us in the fourth quarter. But up until that point, we just weren't taking him seriously, not closing out. Okay, I don't care if it's Luke Cornett, Blue Hornet, Corvette.
That doesn't matter what your name is.
Close out. If this man, as ugly as he is proving to you that it's his night shooting, close out. And finally his luck went out and it was all good. But man, dude, this is just beautiful. This is going to happen. You're going to get team's best shot. We just got the best shot from the Hornets. And I feel like the Bulls with the players they had gave us their best shot tonight. And you see us like a heavyweight fighter just taking the blows and stepping right back in and being like, hey, that's fine because we've got Chris Paul at the end of the day. And tonight, special shout out to DeAndre Ayton. We see you. We always give you shit. So tonight, this is about you, big dog. 22 points, 7 rebounds. Maybe I'm different. I like that. I don't mind that over like a 12 and 14 game, just 7 rebounds. If you're going to give me 22 points and 3 blocks, chasing down Colby White, beating his shit off the backboard, I love it, man. And if we had that Ayton every game, or let's just say 75% of our games, I think we win the title. And that's what I said in the beginning, and I still stick to that. I stick to that.
Bro's already on the sauce already. He's drinking that sauce.
Okay. We need to remember the DeAndre Ayton narrative here. He has 1, 2, 3 good games, 4, 5, 6, 7 bad ones. The thing that we're waiting for is consistently. I'm not talking and saying he had a bad game tonight. I'm not saying that. He had a great game tonight. I thought he played wonderful in the fourth quarter. He did everything we needed to, right? And then some. His offense, he would stop and pop. He was decisive with it. What are we going to get next game, though, you guys? Can you answer that, Salty? Can you just drank the Kool-Aid, Gabe? Can you answer that question?
I'll tell you, I wouldn't bet any money at all that he does it 2 games in a row. I wouldn't do it because it's not a smart bet.
So why is that? Like, what's the root cause of that? Like, from a player standpoint,
low testosterone. If I'm being completely honest,
get this dude tested. Hey, doesn't Gambo do some like testosterone booster ad for his show? Yeah, it's like
get it, anyway, Gambo.
We'll have to hit Gambo up to hit up Ayton for some T boost.
I needs it,
but that's the problem we're having. We can't answer that question, and we're coming up with that answer: testosterone, right?
So it's drive, right? I mean, because we can
Yeah.
all say that Ayton has the tools, man. Look at him. I mean, he's a specimen physically, and he can jump out the gym. And then that was part of the story. People asked themselves, why doesn't this dude dunk? Because clearly at the end of the game, it was in the fourth quarter, he just throws down a 2-hand slam, right?
Right.
And it's like when you see that, and then you see the other plays that he makes, like people really want to know. Like I really want to ask Ayton, if I was a reporter, Ayton, why are you going up for this weak shit? And you're not throwing this shit down when clearly it's not a physical thing. It's not like it takes a lot of effort, too much more effort to get up and dunk.
You wouldn't ask him that question.
Bro,
I swear
to God.
No, you
I
wouldn't.
I swear to God, give me a media pass and I would fucking torch that the next day because they would never have me back. Because I'd be like, grab the mic. Excuse me, Aiden. Excuse me, sir. You have the body of just a specimen, but you go up like a bitch. What's your answer, sir? What's going on here? I mean,
Why
clear.
you always lying?
I doubt it.
Okay,
I mean,
I swear to God, I would.
Well,
and then they would never. And if you
That's
did,
just
man,
the way That's just the way I do it, man.
they'd
I don't
never
care,
let
man.
your ass ask a question again. They'd
I
pull
go out
your
in
press
flames.
pass. Man,
Aiden be like, man, finally someone had the balls to ask me that. I think I'm gonna reach my potential. Becomes a Hall of Famer.
and
you think Chris
unfortunately,
Paul's
because
not saying that? Sorry,
Of course,
Evan,
of course he
No.
is.
You see the way they're getting in his face and bullying him, like, "What are you doing? You're
Consistently,
big as
too.
hell!" Like they're doing it. Sorry,
Bro.
Unfortunately, all of our possible media, whatever that we ever could have had with the media, with the Phoenix Suns, is gone now because of everything we just said on this podcast. But real
Whatever.
quick, some good news that you guys might not be privy to. The Jazz lost to the Heat just a few minutes before we went on. The Heat beat them 124-126. Jimmy Butler had 33 points. Donovan had 30 points as well.
Wait, the
tonight.
Jazz beat the Heat?
Jazz lost. Did I say that?
Hell,
I'm so sorry.
no,
I said Heat. I thought I said Heat beat the Jazz. I'm so sorry.
Well, you announced it like it was good news, so I got
Gabe
excited,
looks high
but
as
I was
fuck, so he
confused.
probably doesn't know what's going on, dude.
Bro,
Okay,
I'm in
Heat
Austin.
beat the Jazz 124-116. So that's good news just to start off the night. The Lakers are winning over or losing to the Trailblazers right now. They're right in front of us. We could potentially get that 3 seed by night's end, but the Clippers also played. We usually go NBA afterwards, but once it starts getting to the All-Star break, that's when I start looking at a few scores, and we really got to start paying attention to what these other guys are doing right now. But the Clippers won big by 20 over the Grizz. And that was really kind of it in the Western Conference. The Warriors are playing right now to the Hornets. So that's really good news to start with. But going back to this game, we say we haven't given enough love to Chris Paul. So I think we should do that tonight. I want to start with you, Gabe. 14 points, 15 assists, and 6 boards. He's just pushing that triple-double again when he's playing like that. We're really
Get
hard
ready.
to beat. He had the mid-range going too. Talk to me, Gabe.
Get ready for a hot take. Okay. Chris
MVP.
Paul is Tom Brady.
What the hell?
Without the championship.
Yeah.
Mute this guy.
Why
Listen
you
to
always
me.
lying?
Oh,
Hit the
I'm
button on
sorry.
Give
I'm
it to
sorry.
yourself.
Give it to yourself.
Listen to me. At tail end of his career, still doing his thing. Miraculous how he's keeping his body up. Switches teams in the offseason, picks a team that is completely loaded at every position that is set up to help him win. Comes in, it immediately works. COVID
Bruh.
doesn't matter. No practice doesn't matter. No preseason doesn't matter. He picked his team, and I think there's going to be stark parallels between the Suns and the Bucks and Brady and CP3 come playoff time. I don't like Brady. I don't like him. But you can't deny what he's been doing. Come on.
Bro, you just compared Chris Paul with
So
no
you guys
rings.
just hate Tom Brady that much?
No,
I
he
mean, it's
has
just a
no
comparison.
rings.
This
He
year.
hasn't even gone to the finals.
No, here,
Point
so,
God.
bro.
Point
I
God.
mean, we might have to clip that as the worst clip of the night, bro. I mean,
What's the timestamp on
I
it?
stand by it. I
No-
stand
No,
by it.
no
56.
championships. Tom Brady's. I mean, he went. I don't even know how to go. We're just gonna ignore that take real quick.
Wow.
Haters.
DeAndre Ayton is like Shaq.
He's the next Shaq.
Thank you for
Look,
immediately
I-
throwing out a worse take than mine.
I that was your take. I also totally understand where you're going with that as far as veteran being able to rise up a team that was in the wherever the hell the depths of whatever you want to call where the Suns were at. I totally get what you're saying, and I see that. It's just he doesn't bring championship experience, and that's a big thing. And Tom Brady gets every call on their mom. Chris Paul seriously doesn't. So I think there's a little bit differential there, but I see your parallels for sure.
Yeah,
Saul?
yeah. I mean, with the NFL, there's a lot more players that go into making the team work. Tom Brady is like, I don't know, he's way older than Chris Paul. No championships. He went to a loaded ass team. I wouldn't say this.
We're loaded.
No, we're not like the Bucks were, man. They put like they got Gronk over there. They
Tom
got
Brady
fucking-
is like the
Kaminsky.
Robert Ory of the NFL. There you go, Charles. That's the comment.
Antonio Brown went there and shit. Like,
of the night. Leonard
know,
Fournette and Ndamukong Suh.
yo,
Dude, F Robert Ory more than any human being I've ever seen in my life.
dude was flexing his championships on Twitter, dude.
Dude's
Did
an
you see that?
idiot. And
He's like, welcome to the 7 championship club or
Yeah,
whatever.
thanks, Ori. Because everyone really thinks you had something to do with it.
Big
let's
shot,
see.
Bob.
We need
Anyways,
Yeah, go ahead.
More CP3 love. Do we have any more, or is that it for the night, y'all?
I mean, I thought I saw on ESPN that he was actually in the MVP running, like the actual one. Like he's 4th or something.
I see more parallels to what Steve Nash did his first year.
Yeah, I was going
With
to say the
just
same
strictly,
thing.
yeah, just strictly what he's doing. Other dudes aren't hitting ridiculous shots like Joe Johnson and Q Rich and just, burning the net and reinventing the game. There's a big difference there. But if you look at stats to stats, I mean, it's pretty close. It's not what Nash did. Chris Paul doesn't have the effect that Nash had, especially on those teams. There's
Mhm.
definitely more playmakers that can make their own individual plays, which is something we couldn't do without Nash. So keep that in mind as well, too. But again, parallels to Nash. You think so too, Salty?
Yeah, first I want to highlight that comment from Facebook again. Why aren't there thousands of people watching this? Is because we're a new podcast, and the only way you can get that to happen is to share it out to your Suns fans, because, we're in the minority here when it comes to the NBA. We don't get fluffed up like the Lakers. They get circle jerked by the NBA and ESPN every time they can get a chance. So you know what it is, man. But as far as the comparison goes, yeah, man. I mean, when did Steve Nash win the MVP, his first one? Was it the first year with the team?
It was his first year, similar to this, reviving a bad franchise. I'm pretty sure the year before we did not make the playoffs, and that's why we got rid of Marbury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then I think that I'm not sure where we finished. Did we finish first with the record?
Yeah, we finished first, and we swept the Grizzlies in the first round of the playoffs.
I do remember that. But so Steve Nash, there's some controversy with his MVPs with Shaq and Kobe and all them and stuff like that. But like,
Sure.
just what Chris Paul, I've talked about it before. He's just a winner. Go look at his percentages with every team. He got drafted to the Hornets, immediately raised their winning percentage. He makes everybody better around him. I mean, what's the definition of MVP? You make everybody better. Without
Winning
you,
team.
the team is garbage.
How many games ago was it that I was the one that was sipping on Suns juice for saying that not only
Suns
is he the
juice,
MVP
pause.
of the Suns team? Remember, like it was like four episodes ago.
We brought that question up, and you said that you were the first.
They were
one.
like, "Is he the?" We were with Suns Geek, and he's like, someone said, "Are we the? Is Chris Paul the best player on this team?" I'm like, "Is he MVP overall of the NBA?" Like, Yes.
people
Yes.
people weren't dogging you for that, dude. I think you were saying that like we were the favorites or sorry, you said something crazy. You were like that
Might
we're
have
like
been that.
Yeah, that's what it
the
was.
best
We
the
were
best in the
favorites.
West or something, or I don't know.
I said we were close. I said we were close to being the team to beat in the West.
Yeah, for
There
sure.
it
Does that
is.
not describe us? Close to
No.
being the team to beat in the no.
Not when you struggle. Not when you struggle to put out the Bulls until the last second.
13 games out of the last 16 we've won. I'm sorry. What year is it? 13 out of 16.
You still just lost to the Hornets, which is garbage.
They played
you-
like God had their back, like angels in the outfield, bro. Get out of here. It was one game out of 15.
Book did get fouled on his 3-point too.
Thank you. It was like, as far as I'm concerned, I filed that away with Jamal Murray doing 3 step backs and getting away with 6 steps as he hits a game tire. Okay.
It does come down to consistency. If you want to be the best and you want to be the team to beat, you put away shitty teams, you knock them out, and then you do your thing. You don't play down to your competition. Now they've done a better job of not doing that and beating the teams they need to beat. But still, in the beginning of this game, it was pissing me off, dude. I texted you. They were legit making me pissed off just the way they were playing, lackadaisical.
Yeah.
It's like they still haven't done anything. It's not like you guys are the champions coming into this year and then you feel like you could take plays off like you're the Warriors that had Clay and KD and all them, you know what I'm saying? And just turn it on whenever you want, because eventually if you do that, you turn into teams where you can't turn it around. Luckily they did this time. But not every game is like that. So it's like, well, why don't you just play like you're supposed to, knock these teams out, and then rest your players in the fourth? You know, that's what I'd like to see. But a win's a win, and especially on the road. But it's
bad
nitpicking.
wins.
It's nitpicking at this point. But if you want them to be where you're saying that they are, where they're the best team, and you know they're contenders or whatever, they need to get to that level. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The reason why we can't say that we're the team to beat is because we have no championship experience on our roster. Not one player has won a championship. Monty hasn't coached in one either. So we can't say it just based on that.
That's very fair. That's
LeBron and the Lakers, Kawhi over there, he has that. The Jazz don't have any either. I'm trying to think if any of their bench players have, and I don't believe so. Like Conley sure hasn't, Bogdanovich, Ingles, obviously Gobert, they were all drafted there. Their coach doesn't. So that's why I don't think they're the team to beat either, because nobody's proven it at the end of the day. We have problems closing out against inferior teams or playing against them. I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. We have some sort of mindset that we're still the underdog. And we're not anymore. We're not the underdog. We're not coming up on people. Other people are going to be hungrier to beat us as opposed to us beating them. There's a different mindset with the team. We have the target on our backs. We have to learn to play with that. Now, when we get to the playoffs, that's all said and done. We don't have to worry about playing with a target on your back. It's, best of 7, throw out the ball and go. You're playing against them 7 straight games. But to get to that point, to get where we need to go, we have to be able to execute down the stretch against these types of teams. If we can't do it against these types of teams, we won't be able to do it down the road, which means the Charlotte loss, as bad as it was, they were able to execute in the last minute of that game and almost pull out with a game tire, which should have been. The fouls came out. That pissed me off with the refs. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. It was supposed to be a foul. They called it, but they executed and they got to that point where they could actually get that shot off, which is incredible for the playoffs. If you can do that. This fourth quarter, the New Orleans fourth quarter, proves that we can go on those runs. Now, the thing that scares me is I don't want to get into a position where we think we can do that every fourth quarter, because that's gonna lead to some more bad losses like the first New Orleans game when we first played them. So consistency right now is the key, and we've been saying that all season since the start. When we went to 8-8, no consistency. We finally found some, and then we trailed off with consistency again. We're not seeing it with DeAndre Ayton, and that's the key word for the season, is just be consistent. And we're finally seeing Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges do that. And to me, you guys, I think the MVP of tonight was actually Cam Johnson. His defense, his hustling, he had a couple 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. I think it actually give it to him. That's not taking away from Ayton at all. He just had a look in his eye to me. Am I batshit crazy, or did he have a serious impact in the fourth quarter, Salty?
He only had 8 points, so he's not the MVP. But I mean, he played decent, right? I mean, could you say he's an MVP with 8 points with a straight face?
With
how about
the impact
MVP?
that
How about most valuable bench player tonight?
he played the whole fourth. Crowder didn't get subbed in for him.
Frank Kaminsky had more points, so I would say he had a decent game from an energy standpoint. But I would
give
MVP.
the game ball to him the way he played tonight. I would give him the game ball if I was his coach. That's
cool. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see it from that standpoint,
I sure did. Even
honest.
What's her? I'm blanking, you guys. The color commentary lady that's on our when EJ's not there. Forget her name, but she mentioned it a few times, and then 2 or 3 straight more possessions. They mentioned Cam Johnson with the hustle play or whatever it was. That defense, though, in the fourth quarter really stepped up. We had 7 turnovers against them. One of them was a shot clock violation. Gabe, what did you think of the fourth quarter and execution?
Fourth quarter execution was beautiful, and I'm okay if that's the quirk of this team. It's like, well, maybe we bat them around, we let them do their thing for 3 quarters. At least if we're going to show up and get the fourth quarter Chris Paul quarterback Tom Brady patented, I'm cool with that. That's winning basketball, and that's playoff basketball. You got to remember, playoff basketball is totally different. Why did we even bring in Shaq in the first place? Because we were desperate. Why were we desperate? Because the Spurs kept kicking our nuts in every playoffs, because we could do whatever we wanted to anyone in the regular season. But playoff basketball is different, and we have that DNA because of Chris Paul, and he showed it again tonight. I couldn't have been happier. So, Go ahead, Salt.
So the interesting thing that you can point out about this team is playoff basketball changes, right? One of the Achilles heel. Well, we had lots of them. The Suns teams with D'Antoni, first of all, we had lack of depth. We didn't play defense, right? So when they lock you down and it slows down in the playoffs the way it does, and you're not hitting shots because of their defense, then it's difficult for you to win. Now, the reason why this team is special on that end is because they have a good defensive team, top 5 defensive team, right? And not only that, they have a deep-ass team. They have a couple all-stars, which is critical. I think that you need at least 2 all-stars to have a chance to go to the championship, right? So all the things that the other teams lacked, the Suns teams of old, it seems like this team has that now, right? Defense,
right. Yeah.
The other one didn't. Depth, the other one didn't. Chris Paul,
playmakers.
Chris Paul, you could rotate him out for Steve Nash. I think they're about the same player. I mean, later stage of their career, make everybody better, facilitator. Chris Paul's a better defender. And then you look at from a star level, Amari was another all-star, and then I would take Book over Amari with offensively, but it's about the same there, So when you run into teams like the Spurs, then you can counter that,
Yeah.
Defense wins championships, like I said, so that's why I'd have more faith in this team, like this type of a team, than the D'Antoni teams, because they got exposed for that reason,
The good thing that I did notice tonight was Booker's defense. I will forever ever say that his off-ball defense is one of the more atrocious things that I've ever seen, and I hate it. When Book is guarding on ball and he is left alone on an island, though, he balls up and he goes for it, and he does play hard. So I give him respect to that. I thought their defense in the fourth quarter was obviously the key to the game. But Gabe, what is going on with these no-name dudes going in and trying to expose us? Guys that we've never heard of until we play them or can't pronounce their name. What's going on with that? That's another narrative.
What it seems like is that maybe the team is just really studying the what's it called, the scouting report. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they know who's shit and they leave them alone, and then that's why they hit. I mean, Cornette hitting tonight, it's because they left him alone. They just didn't think he could do it. Apparently, he was like, what, 1 of 14 coming into this game?
Yeah, bro.
They knew that, and so they're leaving him alone. And like, it's at least we're not leaving alone the best players, right? It'd be a bigger problem if Levine did go off. But no, we clamped that shit up. If you're going to have Cornette beat us, that's fine. He can beat us. But it's not going to be Levine, and it wasn't Levine. So I think that's a good thing. I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat, because you guys are doing the most in here. Burner, Count, Charles, Michael, what's going on? Derek. Someone asked a really good question up here that I wanted to get to. Okay, so they said, who do we want, the Trailblazers or the Lakers? And I want to know are you talking first?
Who do we want to win tonight?
Oh, or tonight. Who do we want to win tonight?
I'd rather get the 3rd seed as of right now, so I think that would be better for the Lakers to lose, and we're about to play them too. So,
well, it's all a question on where you feel like the Suns are going to finish. Do you feel like the Suns have a chance to surpass the Lakers? If that's the case, then you want the Lakers to lose. Then if you think that the Suns are going to be around a 4 or 5 seed and be fighting with the Blazers, then you want the Blazers to lose. So that's that.
I just think we let that game play out. Whatever happens. We keep on focusing on our own business, and we go from there. I have no rooting interest. I like Dame. I don't want him to beat the Suns, obviously, but I honestly don't care, Gabe.
I hate the Lakers, and I hate LeBron.
Yeah, then that's where it lies.
Same. I like Damian Lillard, man. So
and Damian Lillard is a cool dude that nobody really has a problem.
I can't cheer against him, man. Like the fact that he went to bat for Booker, I'll never cheer against that dude. First of all, I really liked him anyway because he's true to his city, right? He doesn't care like if it's a small city or a small market or any of that shit. Like he's true to his city, and he's a stud, man. And then the fact that he gave up his spot or whatever and went to bat for Booker in his first time making the All-Star game, that's clutch, you know?
That's facts. I completely agree there. And where we're standing now, let me go back to the score. 49-45. Blazers are up on the Lakers with 2 minutes to go in the first half. So this pot will probably wrap up before the game goes down, but that's definitely one we're going to be keeping an eye on. We've already talked about Ayton, but we never gave a letter grade. Gabe, do you have a letter grade for Ayton tonight?
Michael, did I say Levine? Levine.
You called him Levine, dude. It's Levine.
It's Levine.
You
just
on
like he
those
says,
mushrooms,
Giannis.
dog.
Yeah, man.
Come on, it's
Levine.
We let it go for Gabe. He doesn't know any better.
Levine's a street you drive on in California or something.
I'm the one that's been putting respect on his name since he came into the league. You're the one that's been hating on him.
Bro,
so
I still don't put respect on Levine.
Oh, that's my next question, Salty. We're getting to that next because I specifically wanted to ask you that.
But first you asked me about my DA thing tonight.
Where'd you get?
I feel like I give him a B plus, right? Somewhere around in there. He wasn't insanely aggressive. He wasn't really even aggressive enough for my liking, but he came through in the clutch. I don't think we would have won without him. And that's, shit. Anytime he gets over 20 points, bro, we ain't losing. I want to know the record on that. How many times have we lost when
good call.
20 or more? I bet it's not much. I bet we almost never lose when he hits 20. Yeah, I thought he looked good tonight.
Salty, where's yours at? What's your grade for him?
I'll give him a T for testosterone booster.
Capital T.
No, I'll give him like a B. You know what I'm saying? Like he still has places he could. I'm not the same with the Kool-Aid drinker over there. You know, I'm not going to give him be like, hey, he scores his points and it's all good. No, I mean, because the goalpost is like moving constantly. I can't keep up with it with these DA stands. I don't know whether it's rebounds are important now or defenses or if it's scoring. It changes on a nightly basis because DA's rebounds have gone down drastically. Go look at his last games. So what is that all about?
Yeah.
Like what? like because when I play basketball, that's usually an effort thing. Because I was a rebounder, right? It's an effort thing. So it's like if he's not getting rebounds, there's a reason for it. He's not. Something's changed because he was a beast. We're talking about like fucking Rodman and shit, right? So what's the difference between him grabbing boards anymore? I think his defense has been pretty consistent, but I was interested in the stat line going down for the rebounds.
One of the things too I just realized is that we weren't even hitting in the first quarter, so there was even more opportunity to get rebound there, and he still ended with 7.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just curious about it because that was one of the stats that people pointed to.
Yeah.
When he had bad games. Look at his rebounds, 14, 16, whatever it is.
Consistency.
And it's just last, I don't know what, like 5, 6, 7 games, his rebound total has been way down.
His average has dipped below 12 now. He's at 11.8 and 14 boards. So that's not good. I'm going to go to his stats now, but before I load these up, my next question was, okay, we've got B's in here, but what about the fourth quarter for DeAndre Ayton? Salty, do you have a specific grade in mind for DA in the fourth?
I was going to say, can everyone else let us know your grade for DA? Because I'm seeing that. Okay, so Charles is saying that that I was being harsh on DA. If I'm being harsh, then what is Salty?
Salty's. Yeah.
Let us know what you think. But sorry, go ahead with your question for Salty.
So what would I say is it was working the way it was supposed to work through DA, was actually running offense through him or trying to get it down to the low post. And I know that people get frustrated about forcing it to him, but the only way they're going to get practice of actually making that shit work is if he gets thrown the ball in decent positioning and he actually does that or has confidence in it. Because we weren't making our 3-point shots. So what changed? Well, they were changing up the offensive strategy and actually getting the big man the ball, and he was actually converting. So ideally too. Yeah, ideally that would be the go-to, because that's something that not a lot of teams have, is a 7-foot dude that could post up. I mean, it opens up free, because you know how Shaq did it back in the day, right? He would back down if he gets doubled or whatever, the shot's not there, he'd kick it to a shooter and they'd make it. So if you're not making your threes, you got to either drive to the basket or you can run the offense through DA if he was actually confident.
So before I get to your grade, while I have the stat up, in the last 9 games, DeAndre Ayton has gotten double-digit rebounds 3 times out of the last 9 games.
Yeah, right? See, that's exactly what I was saying.
We're 21-11. That's 32 games. So in the 22 games prior, he had 1, 2, 3 games where he only got single-digit rebounds.
Damn.
So in the last 9 games, to recap, DeAndre Ayton has had 3 games where he's had double-digit rebounds. In the 22 games prior, there was only 3 games where he got single-digit rebounds. So that means 19 out of 22 games were double-digit rebounds. So, yeah, Kiz, he won us the game, but we're asking what happened. What happened to his rebounding? Why is it dipping down below? Because of
this
consistency.
Shit right here, bro.
Yeah, that was good.
This play right here, I want to point it out. I want to point it out because here you really get to see some of the stuff that if DA could just do this on a regular basis, this is what I'm saying. I will go out and say it. If he could do this shit on a regular basis and get close to 20, I'm not scared of anybody.
Facts.
Anybody. Okay, so
facts.
It's fine. It's a very soft finish here. I'd love for him to hang on the rim, put his nuts in this dude's face. It's fine that he didn't. But coming up here, they actually run a play for DA. This is when I knew the game was over, when Cam hit that beautiful 3. I think this is it. Here it is, I think. Watch this pick and roll, sets you up, bang out. And it's that looked like a play that was made for Ayton, right? Which we don't see a lot of plays made for Ayton. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this.
It's not a play for Ayton. It's a pick and roll. Go rewind it. The 2 players pull off on Chris Paul for the jump shot, and he's open in the lane. It's after this. It's just It's a strategic thing. It's not that one.
No, it's coming back.
So if the players pull to Chris Paul, then Ayton's got to be ready for that pass. Look at Two guys
double
go towards
pick
him.
there too
He's
helps.
wide, double pick, wide open in the lane, cram. So it wasn't a play for him necessarily. It's just what presented itself, you know?
That was nice too, right there.
That sort of thing
Look,
never seems to present itself.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Gabe. When you were completely right. When if DeAndre Ayton played up to what he was last year, and as of right now, he had better stats last year, almost in rebounding too. He had 11.5 rebounds. Now he's down to 11.8 this season. Obviously, he scored 18 points last year, 14 this year. If DeAndre Ayton was able to expound on what he did last year, keep that 13, 12.5 rebound average, go up to 20, 22 points, just 20, even the 18 would have been wonderful. We could seriously be serious contenders, especially in the Western Conference. I'm not ready to say finals quite yet,
but
we can be there, but he's not doing it. And that's the problem. And that's what's holding us back.
There's only a certain amount of points to go around though. You know, we gotta stay clear on that. The thing is, you can't pull points out of nowhere because, all right, so we got how many people on the team, right? So we're expecting Bridges to score. We're expecting Chris Paul to score. We're expecting Booker to score. We want Crowder to score, or he's had a bad game. Then we want bench points.
No.
There's only a certain amount of points to go around unless you're going to score 150.
I understand that, but Chris Paul is not averaging. He's averaging 16 points. I think Rubio only averaged 13 or 14 last year. There's not this huge. There's not this huge turnaround there.
Bridges was not scoring like he was.
But
Cam Johnson wasn't scoring. Our bench scores.
Yes, and you're completely. I mean, we didn't have campaign. He's gonna give us, whatever he averages and randomly go up for like 20, 25. I'm still waiting for that Chris Payne.
Put the numbers out there, right? 16 for Chris Paul, right? What is Booker average? 22,
23,
24, something like that.
So start adding up points, you know what I'm saying? So, and then Bridges has a good game. It's like 15 points.
But the thing that we're failing to realize,
like 10,
dude, hold on. That doesn't, none of that matters because we couldn't get DA the ball at the beginning of the year, dude.
What I'm trying to say is
I understand. And what I'm trying to say is that in the beginning of the year, that was our game plan. Feed DA. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't get the ball. He couldn't post up. He can't do anything on the pick and roll. If he could roll even more, we would have fed DA even more. So what did we have to do? We have to find shots for everybody else. And that's what it is now. And that's why there's more shots for everybody else, is because DA can't do those little things that he still couldn't do in this game. Right?
It's just, I think it's it's a game to game basis, because there's two players that are all-stars on our team that will get their points. You're going to just pencil them in. And then everybody after that is just not penciled in because DA is not a star. He's not a dude that demands the ball. It's all about winning on this team. So it's like one night Frank Kaminsky is going to have 16 points, or Crowder's going to go for 20. It just rotates all over the maps. You can't even tell where the points are going to be coming from. But it's just this team compared to last year's team is night and day difference with scoring, defense, and like with Ayton's average, you got to take that into account because we're not running our offense through Ayton. It's not like a Shaq or like a Tim Duncan or something like that, where we're just getting him the ball and expecting him to do work. It's like he gets his points when they're presented. It's like that pick and roll where double goes off to Chris Paul. He's open. He gets his points, So
Charles, that's a great comment right there, with the subbed in with 8 minutes left, fourth quarter, and down 80 to 84, 8 points, 3 blocks, a steal, and an assist in that stretch. That's an A for me in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And Salty, you were kind of coming at me, not in, like that I was being too high on DA. It's like, I guess I'm just trying to be high on him tonight and give him his props where they're due, because they are due tonight. But for the most part, bro, I'm right there with you. I've got all the
the thing is like a performance from DA tonight is not any different than Crowder going off for 22 or Frank having a good game or some scrub having a good game. DA until he can prove that he could do it on a consistent basis is just a role player having a good night to me. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't have that cutthroat mentality that, hey, I want to get the ball. Like, hey, I want to, I'm an alpha dog. So it's like when you have your good nights offensively, then you have it. We've already talked about this. That's why the more important things at this point are rebounds and defense. That's why it's concerning to me that he's not rebounding, because that's the shit he controls. So he'll have good nights that he had like tonight, but I don't count on him. You know what I'm saying? I don't count on DA having nights like this every night. Like Book, I count on him having 22, 25 points a game. Chris Paul diamond it out and having 16. And then you spread around the points to whoever who wants it, right? Crowder had 3 points tonight. He started. We still won, right? So I don't know. It's just the way our team's built.
I completely understand that. And I really feel like if DeAndre Ayton was able to let's just talk with rolling to the basket. If he was able to just do that with purpose, he could be a 20-point scorer easily. You're talking 2 to 3 extra buckets. Plus, when you do that, you'd get to the free throw line. So even if he got it 2 more times a game, I guarantee you he'd be fouled at least once more.
Bro. He doesn't like
But I'm saying if he could do that, that would get him the extra points. If he was able to post up players he's supposed to post up to and go get the ball instead of waiting for the pass to come to him and having it beaten down all the time, that's the extra 2 possessions a game. So Gabe, when you're saying you want him to be shooting 15 times a game, he hit 17 tonight and he got 22. Like there's no reason he can't get those 15 a game, but he doesn't do those little things, so it goes to everybody else.
Not only that, because what I'm also saying is I'm fine with DA being quote unquote soft on offense and playing that LaMarcus Aldridge style where he just takes those little 12 to 15 foot jumpers, because I believe in DA's jumper. DA's jumper is beautiful. He's not doing it anymore. So it's like, look, if you can't back people down and do what you did at Arizona, okay, because you have a sweet jumper, my guy, start shooting it again to get those 15 shots a game. But it's like he's terrified of taking what's rightfully his, man. He has this place in the offense that if he wanted it, he could take it, but he doesn't want to take it. That's something that Dragon Bender did to a much further degree. DA is not, I don't want to really compare the two anymore because DA is not like Dragon. Dragon never had any of this in him, but the thing that they share is Dragon didn't want the ball in his hands, and DA still, for the most part, doesn't seem eager to be a part of the offense.
And sadly, because of that, Salty is 100% right. It's just like a random 20-point output from Crowder or Cam Johnson. Points wise, that's right. I thought we could always count on rebounds with him, and so that part's frustrating, right?
Yeah, I mean, control what you can control, and he's the biggest guy out there usually, so he should be snatching up those rebounds because that's the number one thing that all the defenders out there were defending DA when he was having these bad games. He's getting rebounds, he's doing defense. It's like, well, control what you can control, because I know Dennis Rodman didn't come out there and have shit, rebounding performances. He was always getting rebounds. Like the people that rebound traditionally will just continue to do that, Absolutely. It's not a thing that just disappears automatically. It's an effort thing.
Absolutely. I do like his defense and the block shots tonight. That was really nice to see.
He looked
good,
guys. Man.
And no other player gets the amount of airtime that this dude gets, especially on our podcast.
Because nobody's ever been drafted number 1 overall for the Phoenix Suns.
Facts. But we need to show a little love to Devin Booker tonight. 22 points, 9 of 24. He definitely could have hit a few, and it could have been a lot closer of a game throughout. But, guys, one turnover. That's been my main thing, is his turnovers and defense. His defense on ball we discussed, but one turnover. What do you think, Gabe?
Booker looked great, man. He obviously looked great again in the beginning. So I guess that's where I'm hitting the brakes and I'm not like slurping Booker tonight the way maybe some fans would be. It's like I'm getting tired of the hot-ass starts knowing it's not going to continue throughout the rest of the game. But I guess I'll take hot-ass starts over nothing. At least he's doing great starts. But my question is, would you rather have Booker going ham in the beginning of the game and then falling off, or playing like Ayton did tonight, where it's like quiet through 3 quarters and then he explodes in the fourth. I kind of like that fourth quarter explosion more than the first quarter going off.
You can't count on that. And this was a comment from Derek in Facebook was saying, let's talk about us being a fourth quarter team. I don't want to be a fourth quarter team. And I mean that in a sense where I don't want to be down by double digits and having to crawl out of it. I want to be a fourth quarter team in the sense that we can put teams away, which I guess you could say we've done, but does that make sense, Salt, what I'm saying? And what do you think about Book tonight as well?
Booker he kind of had that same, hot start and then just kind of disappear, and then he kind of came back a little bit. His shot percentage was a little bit off tonight, but yeah, the turnover situation's one of the more important things, and he's actually hitting his free throws again because he was missing a lot of those. His percentage has gone up a lot for that. So he's one of the guys that gets the free throw the most on our team, and he still doesn't get there that much. So that's one of our Achilles heels, is just not getting to the line. And there's not really a solution to that because that's just the way the team's built. But as far as being a fourth quarter team, I mean, that's what winning teams do. But making a habit of it is bullshit. I mean, you don't want to do that. But, I mean, if a win's a win, and if you winning, it's just like when I see the Lakers scores before they lost AD. A lot of the games they were down, right? And then you're like, oh, the Lakers are going to lose. And then you check the scoreboard and they pulled it out, right? Especially against OKC a couple times and some other teams.
Right.
So that's what good teams do. They just win. So
that's what the Spurs did over and over in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and that's what we're doing. What more could you ask for? We're a good team, a great team.
But you don't want to make a habit of it, and that's what I'm scared of. Does that make sense? Is that a legitimate
That's very
worry?
fair.
No, that's true.
That's what I don't want. But their execution in the fourth quarter, man, it has been a sight for sore eyes, especially coming from where we were.
Chris
Paul, man.
It's Chris Paul.
It started last year just having a freaking point guard that knew what they were doing, and then Chris Paul comes in and just elevates it again. So we've been on for a while after a great win. I'd like to turn it over to you guys listening in, and want to thank you all, Timothy, Humble, Burner, over on the Facebook side. Been chatting with Derek quite a bit. And Michael Logan, thank you guys for stopping by. Like, share, tell everybody about it. We'd like to get more people in here, but I want to turn it over to you guys and see if there's anything you specifically wanted to talk about or had questions for us. I think we've missed a few. Unfortunately, it just happens with the chat. But is there anything that you guys are curious to talk about with this Suns team? And I don't want to talk about trades. I'm not with that right now.
Look, we don't need trades, but we need to fill that empty spot. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, we didn't need to drop Damian Jones to bring Sticks back, did we?
I mean, he didn't really play, so I don't know if that matters.
I forgot to talk about that. You guys know that Sticks is my boy, dude. I was like, I thought I took some shrooms from Gabe's house or something, dude. Because I saw him out there. I saw that familiar figure, and I was like, what? Because he got back from the G League. He was balling it up over there. So I think that's a good sign. I know that Dario was hurt, but man, dude, I just want to see my boy Sticks just do some pick and rolls and hit those corner threes like he was doing in the beginning of the year, man. You know?
Yeah,
facts.
Totally.
Facts.
I have high hopes for him, man. That's all I got to say.
I think it's a crime against Suns humanity that Sticks didn't play tonight. Maybe not tonight because it was like one of those rough games where we had to scratch and claw. But I guess I'd rather see Sticks in there than Nader. Am I weird for saying that?
No, you're not, because he could stroke the three, baby.
He's long, he's strong, bound to get the friction on, but the man can get rebounds. The man gets rebounds, he hits the three, he drives, he can handle. Can anyone pull up what he did in the D League? Because I know we know that he did
he averaged like 15 points and 7 or 8 rebounds, I think.
He did good.
One thing here, yeah. How did Crowder play tonight?
Not good.
Not
Not
good.
good.
He inserted into the starting role and then nothing. 1 for 3 from 3 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Still played hard. He played hard. He never
No,
not
yeah,
will.
he still plays good on
But-
defense, and that's the thing, you know.
I wonder if because Dario was out was why Frank went down because we needed a big man off the bench. Is that possible? That would make sense, right?
I
Yes.
don't know. I think that just the Frank experiment's over for starting lineups, dude. I think I think the coach was just riding that train, like we were saying.
yeah.
Keep him in there, even as like the token starting guy.
Bro, I'm almost certain that Monty listened to the podcast last night. Like, I'm pretty sure he was up. He was getting ready for the game, and he's thinking, "God, I need real inspiration. I need to know Valley podcast."
The Valley
Monty-
Bros on the Valley Pod.
Monty didn't text you guys. Oh shit, you guys don't
He
have his
texted
number.
you,
I
so
wasn't
that's
supposed to.
why.
You didn't
Yeah,
forward
sorry.
that, man?
I wasn't supposed to let that out. Sorry, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
he was listening because that's what we said the other night. Like, I don't mind if Frank starts. I don't mind like if he doesn't get a lot of minutes, but he should be in that 15-minute range, 17-minute range. He got that tonight. There's a reason why we were on that streak with him starting, and it's not just random luck. It's not because he's redheaded and he looks Irish and it's almost March. It's not that, man. He brings something to this team. He stretches the floor. He works with McHale. He worked with DA.
He
So what
has
is he do?
Organic chemistry.
He has
That's
the purest. He has the most confident, purest looking brick shot I've ever seen in the NBA,
Oh,
dude.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
With the iciest chain. If you
The
guys didn't see us
iciest.
beforehand, go to Twitter, look at Frank Kaminsky's post-game chain.
hmm
But people on Twitter are saying, and I said this at the beginning of the year, Dario is the key for us. That's the walking 16-8 man. That's the point forward that just
Our
is
mini
decisive with the
Jokic.
ball. Absolute mini Jokic. I like that. He's absolutely that dude. He needs to get healthy somehow. Thank God we got a break coming up. That's going to be so good for him just to rest those ankles and to chill. Another interesting fact tonight was Abdul Nader played 17 minutes, more than Frank, and the same amount as Etuan Moore. We didn't see Galloway at all. We didn't see Sticks, as we mentioned, and Javon Carter. We didn't see Campaign. More of a dip this game with minutes going down. You guys hate Abdul Nader. So you know what? I'm not even going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask everybody in the chat. What did you guys think of Abdul Nader playing tonight first? And what did you think of Galloway not getting playing time? Payne's minutes going down. What do you guys think of that? I will ask you guys about Campaign because we were
want to
on
answer
him.
the question. I want to answer the question you just posed. How come they get to answer?
That's for them. That is for
Okay.
them. That's not for you. You get
Well,
to answer Campaign. What the hell's going on with him?
Don't talk about Campaign. It bums me out. All
I
right.
know,
He's
right?
too good to be playing like this. I love him. He's probably my favorite, like, scrappy son that I want to be great. So don't talk to me about Campaign. All right. Can we stop talking about Campaign?
Well, we're gonna go to Salty. What's with
The
Campaign?
future starter for the Suns.
Yeah,
Another
Gabe
take from Gabe. We never forget, bro. Trust me.
Hey, I
Salty.
stand by it.
Salty, what's going on with Campaign, man? A dude that was
Hmm.
our number 2 in the bubble, and now is it injuries he's coming back from? Weird rotations, all the above.
I don't know, man. I think that sometimes players play out of their mind. I think you are what you are eventually. Sometimes I don't know. It is what it is, right? He got drafted by OKC, had to make his way to China, all that other stuff. He played out of his mind in the bubble, which was a small space of time. So, I mean, this is the longest stretch he's been on the team consistently, I would think. And, he got injured, but he's been back plenty of time for that. So, I don't know. Maybe he's going through a stretch of just struggling, man. That happens. So hopefully he can pull himself out of it.
Wouldn't you guys say that we're still getting our much more than our money's worth out of Campaign, even with his recent struggles? Can't you say that
But
he's
no,
blessing on this team?
No, because we didn't sign him to do what he's doing. We signed him to do what he did in the bubble. That's not.
I
That's
mean,
not
what
we
is it?
envisioned.
What is he doing lately that other players couldn't? You know, like you campaign. The reason why we're excited about him is because he's doing crazy shit like cannon threes, going to the rack, playing good defense, playing energy.
He had in 9 minutes. He had the worst plus minus at -21.
Okay, well then at this point, can we get some Javon Carter? Is that too much to ask for?
I mean, it wouldn't be a stretch to say, try it. If one's struggling,
Sure.
put the other in, right? I don't think it would be too much of a drop off right now, and I think from a defensive standpoint, you actually get more from Javon. So
Each Moore is playing majority of the point guard, the facilitating type of point guard offense than Campaign was. So
I think
Javon Carter can hit that open 3 too every once in a while.
And that's the good thing about having a deep team. You can rotate players out, and
Facts.
it pushes them to be better. So, I mean, it either spurs you to be better or you ride that pine, right? I mean, it is. Javon's been hitting that pine pretty hard this year, so who knows if someone struggles, you put him in, because Etuan Moore was sucking it up in the beginning of the year, and he turned it around, right?
He did.
I mean, and that Derek asked another question on Facebook. What's your guys' favorite rotation? I'm like, what's a rotation? Monty has no idea what the rotation is.
What is our rotation? Who knows?
We don't even have a solidified starting 5, and we don't even have a solidified 6th man. You know what I mean? It's got to be Dario, but he's been out for so long. We don't have a solidified lineup outside of.
You remember other Suns teams like the Nash D'Antoni? You could like mark it down when Nash was coming out or coming in, like it was on a timer, and like that's the same with other. It's just coaching strategy. They have rotations. They don't deviate from it. But this coach, you don't know one time he's going to have Frank in the starting lineup or Crowder or pull a rabbit out of his hat.
30 minutes.
Yeah, Nader could be benched for 5 games, then play 30 minutes.
Why does he love Nader so much and hate Sticks so much? Like, you're killing me, man. Like,
well, Chris Paul played with Nader last year, so maybe Chris Paul's in his ear, and Chris Paul's the second coach. Maybe he's like, no, he can do this, he can do that.
You should play Nader, coach. You should play Nader. He sucks. He's fucking the Nader terrible. Hater. I'm sorry, man. He's just not impressive. Like, I would rather have Langston in there. I would rather have Javon Carter in there. Langston. I'd rather have Langston. I'd rather have Galloway. Right?
Langston Galloway is a one-trick pony, man.
I thought his defense got better, right?
He is, dude. He's a straight up. I mean, he's a gangster offensively, but he doesn't give you shit from a defensive perspective, nor does he drive to the rim.
No.
And he can't pass the ball for shit either.
And we're not talking about when you're open, just going for it. That's obvious. We're talking about creating your own off the dribble and then going and attacking. So, no, he doesn't do that.
I mean, if from a coaching standpoint, if you have options between a one hitter or a one trick pony and someone that could do an all around, you're going to go with the all around player. It's just, it makes sense.
You could make the argument that Javon Carter's a one-trick pony with his hounding defense because he turned the ball over left and right.
Yeah,
I don't trust his three-pointer.
That's why he's not playing.
But hounding defense turns into quick, easy offense.
Yeah, but when you can give up a little bit on a defensive side and then add offense and more consistency and not turning the ball over, it's an easy pick.
I want to see Javon Carter and Campaign play together again, you guys.
Good point, coach. I actually really, really, really agree with that. That would be refreshing. Put those two and see if they can't help each other get back to where they were in the bubble.
Because that's what they did. You're right. They helped each other. You're going to do that? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to do that.
Here you go. Here you go. Oh, my God. You hit a 3. Now I'm feeling it. Here's my couple 3s in a row. Holy shit. We're unstoppable. That's what I want to see, dude. Monty, I know you're listening. Make the change just like you did the other night with us for Kaminsky.
They can play together in the G League.
I will.
Can you mute him for the rest of the show? Can you actually do it since you're the creator, Gabe? That No. Oh, no.
I pulled him off for a second.
No, look, we play Minnesota next. Can't we just rest Etwan one game? Give him a break. Let's see what, even if it's against the T-Wolves, let's see what
Etwan Moore is my dude. I'll go to bat
Etwan
for
Moore
him.
was not your dude to start the season, so he
Hey,
can
but he
get
was the
shit
first
to you
one.
just as quickly.
He was
Hey,
the first one to
I
turn
hated
pro.
on him, but I said I paid my penance and said I was wrong. Etwan
No.
Moore is a baller, dude.
We love his playmaking. He's just that savvy veteran that seems to do the right things at the right time. But
He's a poor man's Chris Paul.
You guys,
I like him.
Javon Carter and Campaign together were like the double MVP behind Booker in the bubble, you guys. Like, they were just that two-headed monster that got me so excited to start the season. So I'm sad that we just don't get to see that this year, but I can't sit Etwan Moore in all good conscience. He only scored 2 points tonight and 2 assists. It felt like he did a lot more tonight. That's a dude that you put out there.
To have those games.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
He's earned leash to have those games. Just like Chris Paul. Remember the other night when Chris Paul had like 2 points? It's like, who cares? He's freaking point god. He's been point godding. Etwan Moore has been like,
he did more things to just add to the game, I felt like, and controlled the flow. But I mean, the second quarter was disastrous at the same time. So take that for what you will. But yeah, it's a bummer not to see Gallo. We don't see Payne and Carter. But question to you, Gabe, these wacky ass lineups that we're throwing out, rotations, I don't even know what they are at this point. Can that be a strength for us? Everybody's got to be ready. You don't know when you're going to play. You don't know when Monty's going to bring you in. I mean, I'm sure he has conversations if there's an injury out or something. I'm sure we game plan like that. But can it set us up for success if somebody goes out, or just everybody being ready, having it being a group effort? Because one thing, we don't see a lot of egos on this team, y'all.
They love each other, man. They love each other. They became brothers in the bubble. They went from the joke of the NBA to the toast of the town. And I agree, bro. I mean, the fact that they're all playing and no one really knows who's going to get what minutes and he's pulling guys in and out, I can definitely see how that's going to be a benefit come playoff time if somebody gets injured or somebody gets COVID.
We've already seen that, yeah.
I don't have really any problems with Monty's coaching whatsoever outside of I want Nader kicked off the team and I want Sticks to play. Is that too much to ask? You know what, Nader, you can play. Just give Sticks some of your minutes. That's the only problems I have with Monty. What do you think, Coach?
I want to hear what Salty's got to say about the rotations. Do you think it could be a strength to us with what he's doing, or do you feel like we need to have a definitive roles?
I mean, it's from a stats standpoint. I mean, if you're winning, it does. I mean, it's not a hindrance, but traditionally it'd be nice to have roles. I mean, what would you guys say if you didn't know if you're going to play one day or not?
I mean,
like, how would that do to you mentally from a basketball standpoint?
Do you remember it was the 2007 Diamondbacks season? I think we had Bob Melvin there. Micah Owings was on the team. I'm Stephen Drew, Justin Upton. That was his rookie season or his second year he came up. But we had a team where he didn't know when you were going to play you when. Willie Bloomquist was there. And you and I were talking a lot back and forth during that season. I miss you, D-backs baseball. Be good again and not stupid. But we didn't know who was going to play and when. And a lot of players on that team in interviews when we would listen to Gambo and Ash back then said it was a good thing. Everybody's on their toes. Everybody's ready. They're ready to get called in the 7th inning if they need to. 9th inning, you're going to pinch it, go in, you're going to get a single. He got everybody involved, and I think that's what Monty's doing. He is keeping everybody involved. I think not having bench players that stay on the bench every game is a benefit to us. Not having Galloway's going to play again in a few games. We're going to watch it. He's going to go through a resurgence. We just talked about Kaminsky not getting games, Abdul Nader, yada, yada, yada. He's keeping everyone involved. So don't you think just that alone and having the organic chemistry that we have, that itself can propel us. I'm going on a rant. I'm fumbling, but you know what I'm saying, Salty?
No, that's true. I mean, it makes everybody feel part of the team, right? There's not like some players that feel like they're never going to play, like the scrubs of the team. And it keeps everybody involved and stuff. So there's pros and cons to it for established roles, established rotations, and then not, I don't know if you could say that like some of the performances are based off of not knowing when they're going to play and when they're not. I mean, it's
Injuries,
just
sure.
the injuries deep, the team's deep, players have off nights. I don't know.
But
I think that
it built the chemistry.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
I was going to say Burner account made a good point. The Suns became brothers, like I said, and then traded Oubre and Rubio. Look, I think I heard this correctly. I heard like there were sources close to Booker that when Booker was asked about like, hey, what do we do here? Because, they knew he was friends with Oubre and Valley Boys and push-ups and all that. And Booker apparently said, it's Chris Paul. It's Chris effing Paul. And like, yeah, that turned out to be it. So I definitely used to miss Oubre. Rubio, thanks, man. You played better than I thought you were going to play. So kudos.
There's
but
lots of
I'm not sweating.
There's lots of cap for Rubio.
One
dude.
drop of sweat for him for losing Rubio. But Oubre, that was just kind of a fan favorite thing. But Chris Paul's made it well worth it. Does anyone disagree? Would anyone actually have Oubre back? Hell no.
No.
Nope.
I told you this
is night and day.
Go look up that convo I had with you, Gabe, in the messages. I was the one that brought that up. You were on Oubre's nutsack, and I said it was time to let him go. You're like, no, I don't want to let him go. And I was like, dude, it's time.
Not Oubre.
Cam and Bridges need to shine. And then you're just like, man, I can't do it.
I didn't say I can't do it, but I wish the rest of that was a lie because I think I was pretty upset about it, man. I felt like Oubre changed everything for us, and I don't know. I guess he in the end he did get too expensive, and Cam and Mikal are cheaper and just as good.
And Kelly Oubre is going to be a free agent this season, so it's like, what were we going to do in the long term? This was a better long term fit. I mean, Ricky Rubio took us from being nothing to being a relevant, competent basketball team, if nothing else. And I think that's what last season was. It's just putting competent NBA players on the floor together. And we did that.
If we could have kept Rubio, Burner, that would have been cool. But I mean, they wanted him in the trade. And then he's not going to be a backup, is he? Do you think Rubio at this point in his career would accept a backup role?
Dude, I think at this point he might do the backup role on the Suns, dude. If you could somehow get him over here, like, because
I saw trade rumors about the Clippers possibly going after him.
Yeah.
I miss being a Sands fan. You guys remember that? Anyone?
Give up Campaign. Who else do you give up? Javon Carter. Who else do we throw in there?
Right.
For Rubio. Could you imagine that? Wow. I'm not even going to go there, but that'd be crazy.
So, to wrap everything up, it was a good win. There's no bad wins in the NBA. We need to come out better in the second quarter because I believe it was tied after the first, if I'm not mistaken. Got to show up in the second quarter. Got to be more consistent. Third quarter, they got it down. Fourth quarter, we went on a run. I don't want it. I want to be a fourth quarter team, but I don't want to come from behind all the time. We can be up in the fourth quarter and still be a fourth quarter team and execute down the stretch when they're hitting big shots. So there's a clear definition with being a fourth quarter team and having to come from behind in the fourth quarter. There's a big difference there. And I don't want to be that other team that can't get it done that one night when it means the most. So we need to come out. We need to play stronger. The key word of the day for all of us was consistency. I think we would all probably agree with that, especially when it comes to Ayton. Booker, man, I'm still waiting for his 40 burger. He's going to come up with a 40 burger at some point. I'm waiting for that. Chris Paul's going to have a double-double or a 20-20. What do you think is going to happen first? A Chris Paul triple-double or a Chris Paul 20-20 assist night? Gabe?
I'm thinking a 20. I'm thinking a 20 and 20. It just doesn't. I
same.
don't know. It just doesn't seem like he's in triple double mode right now. It seems like Chris Paul is just in do whatever it takes to win mode, whatever it is. Like if it's pushing the ball up the court and not getting credit for the assist, I'll do that. He's just doing everything right. I don't really see him getting a triple double, but that's a great point. I can't believe Booker hasn't got a 40 burger yet. How is that possible?
Yeah. So, Salty, what happens first? A Booker 40 burger, Salty CP3 with a 20-20 or CP3 with a triple double?
2020.
That's what I thought too. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Yeah, we'll go from there. But let's turn it over to the NBA. You guys want to do that, or you have anything else you want to go on right now?
No, man, go for it.
Nope.
Let's turn to the NBA scores tonight. The Thunder. I'm going to start from the bottom this time. That's where I'm at. That's what she said. The Thunder over the Hawks, 118-109. Dude, Shy going off again with 24 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. This kid is turning into something. CP3 worked with him 1 year, and then he was like, I got it, bro. You can go to Phoenix. And he is just single-handedly killing it for them. And Lou Dort the other night with that game-winning 3 was clutch for them. So they beat the Hawks. We mentioned the Clippers beat the Grizz by 20. Kawhi had 30 tonight. The Raptors beat the Rockets. Kyle Lowry had 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. And did you guys see that they didn't have like 5 coaches on the bench tonight because they had COVID? Nick Nurse was out, 4 other coaches, and everyone's like, all right, well, you got this, Kyle Lowry. Go be that assistant coach. And they came out and won. Did you see that tonight, Salt?
I did not see that.
That's crazy. The Celtics win 118-112, and they're still 1 game behind 500. So who would have thought? But Kemba showed up tonight with 32, and Domantas Sabonis had 24, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. Shout out to Sabonis for getting in with Durant being out to the All-Star game. Good on him. Going up a little bit farther, the Warriors are currently blasting the Hornets 103-86, unlike a certain team that couldn't do that. But the game of the night was definitely the Heat beating the Jazz 124-116. So shout out Miami. Let's go
down a notch.
You gotta love that. And then the Kings beat the Pistons 110-107. Rashawn Holmes, guys, 19 points, 17 boards, just went off, and Jeremy Grant had another 30-pointer tonight. The game's still in action. Gabe's kind of been scrolling through it. Is the Blazers and the Lakers. The Lakers are up right now 76-69, 2:35 left in the third. Man, we need some Dame time to happen here. He already has 28 points, but dude needs to end up with 40 to 45 plus to get the Lakers.
He's doing it all himself tonight, isn't he?
Yeah,
Melo, help us out, guy.
Where are we at in the standings right now, Gabe? Show us what happens with a Lakers loss.
Ooh.
Half
with the
game.
Lakers loss, we slide right up into that.
We slide right in.
spot.
We would have a better percentage than they do. So we would be the 3rd seed at the end of the night. And look how close we are to the Clippers too. If we would have been able to play those 3 missed games, we would have played Atlanta, could have beat them. Indiana could have beat them. Golden State, we've already beat them. Those are 3 possible dubs.
Good point.
So that would have been great to have, but it is what it is. But that Lakers, where are they at now? 77-69. Damn it. That's all I got for y'all.
What's our next game?
Next game, Minnesota. This is a can't lose game. This is a game we should win by 20, 25.
He said it. He said can't lose.
You
Come
can't
on.
lose. You can't lose
bad,
to the
that's
T-Wolves.
Bad luck.
Salty?
Yeah, if they lose, man, I don't even know what I do, but yeah, it's gonna be Cat versus DA, right?
That is going to be the matchup to watch, right?
I'm gonna look up their injuries real quick, but yeah,
And
we
this
play
is-
I think 6 or 7 local Phoenix Suns time. So we should be able to blow them out like we blew out the Grizzlies 4 or 5 days ago, right? Or games ago.
Yeah, we should be able to, but
What
should
day?
we have blown the Chicago Bulls out of the water?
Well, it's different
And
when you're going on the
Charlotte.
road, right?
And Charlotte.
Yeah. But they're still the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Trap
Should be
game,
easy.
says Michael.
Maybe this will be Booker's 40 burger game.
Better not be
Maybe.
a trap game.
D'Angelo
What-
Russell's out. Malik Beasley just got suspended for X amount of games because of his off-court stuff that happened in the summer.
So this is Sunday? Is it on Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
72%, 73% chance Phoenix wins.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I hate that.
T-Wolves have a new coach, says Charles.
Yep, new coach, no Beasley. You can't lose this game. You can't lose this game. So win by 25.
So I was just saying it's really going to be good if the Lakers lose tonight.
Yes.
Because then we can get 2 wins to their 1 loss here.
Let's keep an eye on that. Guys, good win. Good pod. We had great turnout. Thank you all so very much for joining us on
Spread the Word.
Pretty boring Friday. Yeah. Spread the word, like, share, tell the Facebook, Suns Nation, everybody out there, get on Twitter, push us if you like it. We really love to have you guys with us every game.
The Push Us If You Like It podcast.
Push us if you like it.
Put the Discord in the chat too, an invite.
Okay.
I don't have it.
Okay, we'll figure that out. We'll put that in the chat for everybody. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. Great win. 13 out of 16. How does that sound? 13 wins out of the last 16 games. And that's the Phoenix Suns I'm talking about. Yes. Salty, anything?
Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put the link in the chat. Just win your games, man. Good W.
Brandon, man, good seeing you in here. Thanks for checking us out, man. We're here every game. So if you guys are wondering, when are they going to be on? After the game, every time, win or loss, we will be here. Yeah, man. But let's get this next obvious win coming up against the Wolves.
Hey, and if we move up to the third seed tonight, I don't want to be on Twitter seeing all the Suns fans flexing. We haven't done anything yet. You want to know why? Because nothing else matters but the next game.
I will be flexing.
Beat Minnesota. Beat Minnesota. That's all that matters.
Later, y'all. Later, Salty.
Let's get ready to rumble!
The champs are here.